Well, let's get the ball rolling here on a Friday night. Not a whole lot to go over, but I want to go over Jadeveon Clowney, the Minnesota Vikings, and lastly, I want to give you my early vote for MVP. So, are you ready to get your fix? Now, on Jadeveon Clowney, he was a former number one overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, and he's a free agent right now. He's still a free agent. He's been since the end of last season. So this could be due to the fact that he's never really 100% healthy, or he's asking for way too much money. Now, last year, Clowney didn't have too bad of a season compared to his previous ones, but he still underperformed where he only had 31 combined tackles, which was his lowest total since his rookie year when he only had 7. He's usually roughly around like the 45, 50 area kind of tackle. That's how many tackles he gets. So in his rookie year, he also tore his meniscus. So those 7 tackles really, they're kind of a wash. And he missed, like I said, the whole season. Now, last year, he only had 3 sacks. Okay, now that's compared to last year when he only had 9, and then 2 years ago when he had 9.5, or it might be flip-flop. But he had 9 and then 9.5 in the past 2 seasons with the Houston Texans. So it's kind of like he's going downhill a little bit, maybe not too much. I mean, he is an edge rusher. Maybe they need to move him to outside linebacker or something, but he is too big to play there, I feel. But being an edge rusher with only 3 sacks, you better be able to stop the run. Because if you can't, you got to do something if you're an edge rusher. So, yeah, granted, he had a pick 6 last year with Seattle, but really wasn't much of a factor. It was against the Arizona Cardinals. We all know how they finished. I think they were, 4-11-1 or something around that area. So, looking at these stats, I'm thinking, okay, teams are probably staying away from Clowney because A, he's injury prone, and he wants too much money, and he doesn't perform like he deserves the money he's asking. So, for a former number 1 pick to put up subpar or even third-round rookie numbers, it's just disappointing. And it really wouldn't surprise me if he stays a free agent for a while until he realizes he needs to come down on his asking price, or until he realizes, look, I'm not going to be healthy. Okay, put me in there. Don't play me that much. Give me some reps, but put me in the game. I'll sign for a low deal, and we'll get the job done. I was also looking at his injury history too, and I found a stat that was very interesting. It said that Jadeveon Clowney will have a 55.5% chance of getting injured in this upcoming season. So, like I said, I'm sure that's one of the reasons the general managers aren't going to take a chance on Clowney. And if they do, it's because they see his potential, and maybe he brings a little bit of juice to the team. Maybe he just glues them together better or something like that. But I do think he's going to find his way into an NFL team this season. I don't know who it is or what it will be. But like I said before, he needs to come down a bit on his price. Just a little bit. I mean, to always be hurt and not even perform that well, come on, man. You got to do something about it. So now I want to switch gears to the Minnesota Vikings. And as you can see behind me, I'm kind of a fan, but like I said, I'm not going to be biased. So I'm just going to give you my straight up, how do you put it? I'm just going to give you my take on how I feel the Minnesota Vikings are going to do this year. Now, going into the draft, I thought Minnesota Vikings really needed another cornerback. They really needed another cornerback because they just lost Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, Mackenzie Alexander. Who do we have besides Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris now? Absolutely, really, nobody. So we really needed a cornerback. We really did. And I was thinking Trevon Diggs. Go get Trevon Diggs from Alabama. Okay? Or go get Grant Delpit, the safety from LSU, and turn him into a corner. You could do that. It's that easy. They could have done this with the 22nd pick. And they didn't. They decided to go with wide receiver Justin Jefferson from LSU, who I think will take over Diggs' spot real nice. I think he's going to be that it factor for us. I think we needed that. I didn't think we needed that early, granted being that we had the 25th pick, I believe it was. So this was a really good pick, okay? With Stephon going to the Bills, like I said, we needed this position. We needed a wide receiver. And, I just took him right there, but we would have took a cornerback first if it was me. So after the cornerback, I would probably have made Tyler Johnson. Instead of trading that 25th pick to San Fran, when they took Brandon Ayuk, you could have got Tyler Johnson. You could have got Brandon Ayuk. You could have got these wide receivers there. You could still probably have gotten Justin Jefferson if you would have took a quarterback 26th pick. However, the Vikings ended up addressing that cornerback position with the selection of Jeff Gladney from TCU at the 31st pick in the first round. At first, I did not like this pick because both Grant Delpit from LSU and Antoine Winfield Jr. from Minnesota were still available. And I felt like they were the better options to go with. I thought, okay, go take Antoine Winfield. We had his dad. You've seen what his dad could do. I think Antoine Winfield Jr. performed a lot better in college, maybe not. But I think that would have been a really good fit for us. But I don't mind this pick. I really don't, because I feel like Jeff Gladney has actually got a chip on his shoulder to prove that he can come into Minnesota and excel. Be that guy. I really like the fact that he finishes on the football. I was watching his film the other day and his highlights. He's always around the ball. He's just a ball hawk. He goes over, wherever the quarterback makes a throw, he's going to go over there. He's going to try to deflect it. And he loves to tackle. He loves tackling that running back coming out of the backfield. He's a very good zone defensive player, which is something we probably need. Our man hasn't been that great. I feel like we've gotten beat quite a bit, the Minnesota Vikings have. So I feel like he's going to help that with the zone defense. And I think with the zone defense, it's probably why he gets a lot of deflection, because he's able to watch that quarterback and watch to see where his eyes go and where the ball is going to go, so then he can jump that ball. And he might have more interceptions eventually throughout his career. He just needs a little refinement. But I think with having a head coach in Mike Zimmer that specializes in the defense, especially the cornerback position, I think that's going to really up his game quite a bit. They obviously seen something in Jeff, so that's why they took him. I think Jeff Gladney is going to turn out a lot better than Trey Waynes did. We thought a lot like Trey Waynes was going to be that zone slot corner kind of guy with his speed, but he wasn't. He was very, very inconsistent. He couldn't get the job done. And I hope Jeff Gladney can be more consistent than Xavier Rhodes. Xavier Rhodes had way too many penalties for us. He had that one good year, but yet he was still penalized a lot. He's a good corner. Xavier Rhodes, don't get me wrong, was a good corner for us. But the thing about it is, to play corner, you have to play smart. It means no penalties. Keep your head on a swivel. Pick the ball off or deflect it. Do what you got to do. Do not let the other guy get open. Okay? That's all you have to do, and Xavier Rhodes didn't do that consistently, and neither did Trey Waynes. And that's why they left, and that's why we decided not to bring him back. So Jeff Gladney coming here, I feel like, okay. Like I said, at first, I really did not like this. I was shaking my head. What are you doing? But then I went and looked at the tape, and I'm like, okay. They seen something. I see something. It's going to be a good year. Now, I feel like the Minnesota Vikings are in a very good place right now. They just need to stay healthy and consistent, and then big things can happen for these guys. Okay, we've had a lot of offensive line problems. It kind of started to look a little better, but we really need to just tweak our game a little bit so that we can get these opportunities down the road to possibly make a Super Bowl. The Minnesota Vikings haven't. They went to, I think, 4 straight Super Bowls or 4 Super Bowls way back then. They lost them all. Since then, nothing. We've gotten real close. NFC Championship game against the Saints in 2009. That was a pick, Brett Favre. Thank you. Awesome. Don't want to relive that one. And then you go to the Eagles. Start up 7-0, looking like we're about to pound them. And then we lose like 35-7. Very, very frustrating. I hate it. And I think Minnesota hates it too. And they are going to get the job done as long as they refine their game and play as a team and stay healthy, like I said. Big things to come. Big things to come. They're going to have to fight with Green Bay. They're always going to have to fight with Green Bay. That's always a factor when they have Aaron Rodgers over there. So just be ready for Minnesota Vikings to make either a big leap or another dud, like it usually happens. Now, let's go over to my early choice for MVP. Now, as many of you may know, last season quarterback Lamar Jackson for the Baltimore Ravens won the MVP trophy, but this year is a whole new year, and the MVP is now up for grabs. The current NFL MVP odds via the Caesar Sportsbook that I looked at, it went to Patrick Mahomes at number 1. He goes think it was 4-1 his odds are. Then it's Lamar Jackson at 13 to 2, and then Dak Prescott 9-1, and then Russell Wilson at 12-1, and finally Tom Brady and Kyler Murray are tied at 16-1. Now this is obviously probably pretty accurate. They just go about it like they go about stats and all that fancy stuff. So, but I want to give you my top 5 candidates this year. I want to give you the guys I feel are going to make the most impact throughout this NFL season, kind of. And then I'm going to give you my top 3 after my top 5. I'm going to narrow it down to that. And then I'm going to choose the guy I want to win the MVP, or who I think is going to win the MVP. So my top 5 candidates go Tom Brady. I chose Tom Brady because, with the new system in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I feel like he's going to have, a little more, he's going to be revamped. He's going to have more fun in Tampa Bay. New England Patriots, they work as if it was, the military. They're just, you do this, then you do this, but you don't do that. And if you do that, you're on the bench, kind of thing. Where Tampa Bay, they're going to have a little more fun. They're going to be laughing, having a good old time. And especially with all the weapons he's got. So then after Tom Brady, I got Patrick Mahomes. This is an obvious choice. Okay, the last 2 seasons, he very well could have been the MVP both years. He was the MVP 2 seasons ago. Lamar beat him out last year. But this guy can throw the ball in ways I can't even fathom. Like, this guy can throw a crossbody, no look, probably behind his back with his toes. He can do whatever he needs to do. Like, this guy is insane. I love it. He's an obvious pick. That's all I got to say for him. Then I got Lamar Jackson. You got to go with that the last MVP, Lamar. This guy made defenses look silly. He made defenders look dumb. He literally would make them fall. He'd go out there, drop back for a pass. If he didn't see anybody, boom, up the middle or outside. And he'd get 5, 20, 50 touchdown. This guy would do it. He could do it all on his feet, in the air. He could just do it. And a lot of people criticized him. They said he was only a running back. He's not. He can get it done. He can get it done in the air. He can get it done whenever he needs to, and he proved it last year. And that's why he's the MVP winner. And that's why he's on the new cover of Madden. Then I got Russell Wilson. Now, this is very interesting. This whole week, they've been talking about Russell Wilson back in 2018 getting offered for the number 1 pick for to the Cleveland Browns. I don't think that. I mean, it probably was in the move, but I don't think that was going to happen. And he's never, which is really weird, he's never received a vote for MVP. Ever. Not even one. But Derek Carr has. So that's another reason I got. He has a chip on his shoulder. You got to realize that. This guy has never received an MVP vote, and he's been in the playoffs consistently. He's really never hurt. But I think he's going to be one of the front runners this year. He's going to show the Seattle Seahawks and the NFL that he can get it done. I have the Seahawks going 12-4. This is they're winning the division. It's a very hard division. They got the Niners, they got the Rams, and they got the Cardinals, which all revamped this year. So we'll see how it goes. And then lastly, I got Aaron Rodgers. I know, kind of being a part of Minnesota is kind of weird, but I think Aaron Rodgers is always the choice. He has to be. Him and Drew Brees kind of are in a mix. This is a tough one between him and Brees, but I picked Aaron Rodgers because with the draft, Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love. And today, he actually had a press conference, or Aaron Rodgers had a press conference, and he said that, hey, look, I didn't like this move, but I get it. They're not looking for now. They're looking towards the future as well, so we just got to play it by ear. So that means right there that he's pissed. Okay, he's not going to come out here and lay an egg. No, he's going to go out there. He's going to get the job done. He's going to throw for 300-plus yards probably every game if he wants to. This guy is going to be absolutely insane. Yeah, I have him going 11-5 and getting second in the division, but they are still going to the playoffs. I still have him in the playoffs. And you get Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, anything can happen, just like just like Tom Brady, just like Drew Brees, just like these kind of guys. So he's definitely on my top 5 just because of that draft that the Packers had. So be ready. I think those top 5 are very, very well could be the MVP in the next couple years. All of them could be. Now, out of these 5, I want to narrow it down to my top 3 guys. So first, Tom Brady. I got him. I think he's a little, he's the GOAT. You got to have him in the top 3. He's not going to go out there and be a dud. And if he does, it might be time to hang it up, Tom. But if not, if he goes out there, does his job, it could be dangerous. But then I got Patrick Mahomes, obviously, and I got Russell Wilson. Just because of that chip on his shoulder. I feel like Russell says, I want my MVP vote, and you're going to give it to me because I'm going to prove it this year. And but Aaron Rodgers is a very, very close one instead of Russell Wilson, just because of that, like I said, the chip. Both these guys have that chip on their shoulder. So if my top three, if I had to replace Russell, it'd be Aaron Rodgers. But I think right now I'm going to go Russell Wilson. Now, I want to give you my number one, the guy I think will win the MVP this year, and that's Patrick Mahomes. I believe Mahomes has the best shot to win the MVP, being that, he just won last year's Super Bowl. And I also have the Chiefs going 13-3 this year, which is the best record I gave all NFL teams this year. So I believe Mahomes is going to go in there, have another great season like he has the past 2 years. And he very easily could have 2 rings. Very easily. I think he lost 2 years ago in the AFC Championship game. I believe that was against, I want to say, New England. But he doesn't have 2 rings. He has 1, which a lot of people don't even have 1. So that's awesome. And he already won the MVP 2 years ago, so why not win it again, even when he was a front runner last year? So I feel like he has a really good chance at winning this. So with going 13-3 and being the leader of the Kansas City Chiefs, it really wouldn't surprise me if Patrick Mahomes win his second MVP trophy ever. Okay, he'll have 2 MVP trophies by the end of the season, and that's who I'm going with at this moment in time. Now this could change for me as well, so I plan on doing this again, kind of like my standings right after the preseason, just in case I feel like I need to change something. I need to change my choice. So be ready for that. That'll come again. But like I said, Mahomes, he's going to get it done this year. Okay, so all these 5 quarterbacks, Mahomes, Brady, Jackson, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and not to mention Drew Brees, even though he wasn't in my top 5, but he could have. These guys are going to get it done. So it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch this NFL season play out. And that's going to end today's discussion. And you just got your fix with the Wicks.